Welcome to another edition of the Mael Time podcast. I'm joined today by Gal Gilboa Dalal. His brother Guy has been held hostage by Hamas now for almost 580 days. Gal, how are you doing right now?
Daniel, and thank you for having me. Uh, that's a very hard question. I'm not doing so well. I'm missing my brother so much. I'm worry sick for him. I think about him every moment, every second, about him and the other hostages. That's just entirely what I'm busy at. And it's been hard. It's been so much time since I last saw my brother, since I last spoke to him, since I hugged him. And it's hard because it's even harder because I used to see the light in the end of the tunnel. I used to be a little bit more optimistic, and I'm not anymore. It's really hard because I don't see the light in the end of the tunnel.
I want to go back to October 7th. Were you guys together? Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, actually, I was with him at the Nova Festival, with him and Aviatar David that was kidnapped with him. Aviatar and Guy, they are childhood best friends. They are best friends since they were one years old. And Aviatar went to quite a few festivals before. And for my brother Guy, my baby brother, he never went to any of these kind of festivals before. He was so excited to go with Aviatar and their friends, um, and yet he asked me to join him. He wanted me to be there, to be part of his experience, and I wanted to watch over him to make sure he's having a good time. And that's actually the only reason I went to the Nova Festival.
So
I myself,
how did you end up separated?
I arrived to the festival area pretty early in the morning already. Guy and Aviatar, they arrived at night. They're waiting for the main stage to start. And once it started, he told me that I should join him. I was at my best friend's bachelor party, so I left in the middle just to be at the festival with Guy. And I arrived there around 6 a.m. in the morning. It was 30 minutes before the alarms went off. And Guy was waited for me at the entrance. As soon as I got in, he jumped at me, he hugged me, he told me how happy he is that I came. He took his phone out, he took a selfie of both of us, and he sent it to our mother. He is letting our mother know for his whole time at the festival what's going on with him and how's everything's going. Making sure that she know that we're together and that she will not be worried. He asked me to go on the dance floor with him, and I told him like give me a couple of minutes so I can settle everything. He took me to where he camped. I put my stuff there, and 15 minutes later the alarms already went off.
What was your first reaction when that happened?
So I think like most of the people that were there, if not everyone, we kind of know alarms. We got used to rocket attacks. It happens a lot in Israel. Um, but we weren't too worried. We were very practical. We thought about what we need to do. Now we decided that the best thing to do is to leave as soon as we can, and we decided that we will all go to my house. I used to live 50 minutes drive from there, so we decided that we will go and just meet up at my place. Now, before I left there, I went to Guy and I told him to come with me. I asked him if he want to join me in my car, and he told me that he wants to, but he don't want his friends to feel like he left them. So he's going to go back with them, and he's going to meet me at home. So we left at two separated cars. At one car, it was me with my roommate that was with me at the festival, and the other car, it was Guy, Aviatar, Ron, and Idan. Ron and Idan are also best friends of Guy and Aviatar. Ron and Idan are a boy and a girl that became a couple just a week before the festival. They were both brutally murdered. We only learned about it a couple days later. At the beginning, we actually thought that they were kidnapped along Guy and Avital. Um, so as I said at the
What's
beginning,
that been like,
yeah,
knowing that he went in a different car? Do you sit here and think about that and run that in your head all the time?
yeah, it's a key moment in everything that happened on that day. I thought endlessly about the option that Guy would have returned with me in my car, and how things could look different today. But also, I don't feel any shame um,
No, of course not. How you?
about
I
it.
mean, there's
I,
not.
I think that things happened there, and I will tell you more about it in a few moments. Things happened there in a way that no one could understand or predict. Even while we were there, there was no right or wrong. People that were fleeing and hiding with me, some of them were kidnapped and some of them were murdered. And I only learned about it after I was rescued. So, um, yeah, it was really just about the chances.
Where
And
were you rescued from?
so So at the beginning, when we start going out, there was a big traffic, and we were going very slow. And me and Guy, we parked at different parts, so we were in a whole different part when the shooting started. And the shooting started like after 30 minutes when we were waiting at the traffic. So I was already where the main road. The main road was a little bit farther than the where the festival was, and Guy was still next to the festival area. And that's when the shooting started. And when the shooting started, they came from everywhere. They were from all around us, and people start to leave their cars and run. And I was surrounded by empty cars, the cars that were abandoned. So I had to leave my car and start and also find a place to take cover. And I remember that me and the other group that were with me, we went down a valley where we can find a place to hide under a tree, and that's where I called my brother, and that was actually the last time I spoke with him. Um, I asked him. I understand that he wasn't near me, and he told me that he's still next to the festival area, and that they're shooting between terrorists that arrived there and a few police cops, Israeli police cops. So I told him the most reasonable things I could say to him. I told him, stay as close as you can to our forces, but also stay hidden, stay in cover so no one can see you, and let me know if anything happens. Um, and by this time, people were starting to run at my direction. Some of them were already covered with blood. The terrorists shot RPGs on the cars that we left, so there were explosions just above us, and the cars start bringing up smoke. I have actually these pictures that you can see me running down the valley, and our cars bringing up smokes from above us, and we start running farther down this valley until we could find a better place to hide. I think after 20 minutes of running, and this is where I called Guy again, but he didn't answer. So I knew that something happened to my baby brother, and I couldn't do anything to go back or to help him. And my parents started calling me, and I had nothing to say to them. And it was really the worst part in this whole day. I think it was the moment when he stopped answering me. I really thought that it will be okay in the end. Only then I realized how helpless I am, and uh, how hysterical is everything is.
So you didn't even have time to deal with your own trauma and everything going on, because immediately, or at least after a few days, you realize your brother is held hostage. When's the first time you received a sign of life from him?
The crazy thing about it, that I know so many people that didn't know what happened to their loved ones for a long time. Um, when I was rescued, it was around 2 p.m. On October 7th. It was 9 hours after the attack already started, maybe 10. 10 hours that I was running and hiding and fleeing until I was rescued. And they took us to the nearest police station. And I called my father. And my father sounded broken. He told me, go back home as soon as you can. So I told him, look, if something happened to my brother, and you need to let me know. And he said that Hamas already published a video, a hostage video, where you can see Guy, Evyatar, and 3 other Israeli hostages already in Gaza in their tunnels. Um, It was what's really interesting about it that today we know it. It was the only hostages video from the day. There was a lot of kidnapping video where you could see people were taken from Israel, but you didn't know what happened to them. And in this video, that was the only video that they were published on that day, where you could see Guy and Evitar already in Gaza. Like we knew that they were taken and that they're alive. But this video was published on 11 a.m. It's free. It's 3 hours that everyone know, my family, my parents, Guy's friends, that he was kidnapped, and no one tells me, so I can focus on saving my own life. So I only learned about it once I was rescued. But
Well,
I knew
they probably
from
figured
the start.
they probably figured that it might throw you into a panic attack,
Yeah, of course,
so it wouldn't actually help you.
exactly. But um, like being rescued, kind of like getting my life back, and understand that I returned without Guy. The only reason I went to this festival, it was to watch over him, to make sure he's having a good time. And as his big brother, I returned without him. I returned without my baby brother. That's something that you just can't come to hand with.
And I don't think that there ever is an answer. Everything is in God's hands, and there's no fault of yours, certainly, and it's a supernatural event that occurred. You mentioned that the hope is dwindling a little bit. Why?
For a very long time, I felt helpless, I would say, but not hopeless. I still have my hope, and I'm still 100% sure that Guy will return to me and that we will see each other again. Otherwise, if I want to believe in it, I wouldn't be able to do anything for him, and I can't break while I know what he's going through. And the fact that I know that he's still alive, it gives me a lot of strength to keep doing what I do. But as I said, I used to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's harder. It's getting harder and harder to see. I think that when Trump was elected and we saw hostages return, as soon as he started his new role, it gave us so much hope that this time it will be different. This time we will see them and soon. And I'm still believe that Trump is the only man that really can bring back the hostages. I think that he's the strongest man in the world right now, and he already proved that if he wants something, he will get it. And he's always speaking about the hostages. Always when he's speaking about the hostages, he keeps saying that's the most important thing and that he will return them. But
So what do
right
you
now,
think?
I
What do you
know.
think is the holdup?
I think it's very complicated. It's very complicated, even when I speak with the people that has been around the negotiation table. Even the people that saying from even people that from United States that saying that they will do anything to bring back the hostages. They're always saying, but it's a very complicated negotiation. We're speaking here with people that don't care about their civilians, don't care about their lives. All they care is to bring the Middle East to put fire on the Middle East. Right now there's so many people that suffer from everything that's going on and from this war. We suffer from it so much. Even the civilians there in Gaza, they are all being controlled by a organization that don't care about lives, don't care about giving a better future to the people who live here, don't care about peace. And these are the people that holding my brother right now. These are the people that today I know for sure torturing him on a daily basis, physically and mentally. And I
You
know
said
it
you know
for
for sure there are released hostages that have told you what they've seen.
yeah. Two of the released hostages that returned, and they were with Guy and Evitar the whole time. And they were the four of them together in a small tunnel, almost unable to move for the whole time. Um, they haven't seen daylight. They've been given enough food to stay alive, but to never, but they always hungry. They make them fight each others for the food. For the food.
So they're
Um,
in a cage match. You're saying that they basically make them fight like dogs in the tunnel.
No, no, not like dogs, but they they will give them the food in a very dark room, without the ability to divide them themselves. And when people are very hungry and they want to eat, my brother decided that he will be the one to split the food between everyone. So he was counting rice, like to make sure no one will get a little bit more rice. So he was counting
So
every
your brother's
rice.
job in captivity
Yeah,
was and still is to count the grain of rice
the grain of the rice,
to
exactly.
ensure that everyone gets equal.
Yeah, and the rice that they're receiving, it's not a rice that they just made. It's a rice that they could taste that it was not good.
Stale.
It was made a few days before, and they still need to eat it, otherwise they will be dead. So we know that they don't get food that you would ever consider to eat, and they have no other option than to eat it. And yeah, it's just another story. We heard about the fact that every once in a while they just go in, the terrorists that are keeping them, um, start hitting them and hitting them really bad, kicking them in the head, throwing them on the floor, and yeah, we heard a lot about the sickness of Hamas and what they're doing to the hostages. My brother, my baby brother, he's the best. He's the best guy I know. He was taken from the Nova Festival, and a lot of people don't know or understand what the Nova is. But Nova is not a party or a rave. It wasn't. It was a spiritual festival. The people who went there, it's people that believe in connecting other people. They don't see people as who they are or their race. They see people as people. And there were more than different 20 nationalities at the Nova, and you could actually see Arabs and Jews dancing together. These people are people of peace. These people that don't believe in war. They never believed in war. We never believed in war. We never wanted any of it. And it's so frustrating to know that these people not just being used as a currency in this war, they are being tortured just for being Jews. Um, you
And there
know,
were actually Arab paramedics who were murdered trying to
yeah,
save people there.
yeah, there was also Arabs that live in Israel that were murdered in there. There was people from every race, from every um,
Nationality.
nationality exactly, that were murdered. And the people that were attacked there, the people that have nothing to do with this conflict. It's the opposite. It's the people that want to live in peace, that seek ways to live together and to give better future to the people who live here. We are here to stay and they are here to stay. We need to find a way to live together. But none of us can do it when there is a terror organization that being controlled, that controlling um, everything that happens here.
And one of the challenges is that in democracies, Israel, America, and other places, we can talk about leadership and government pretty freely and have discussions about what they're doing, what they're not doing. And you don't see that to the same extent clearly in dictatorships when people are living under terror organizations. Obviously, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, started this war, are responsible for this war, are holding hostages, and are murdering innocent people. There are also intermediaries that are not necessarily so great, and they're supposed to be relaying messages to and from Hamas, to and from Israel, et cetera, et cetera. What's your relationship been like with Egyptian officials and Qatari officials?
So I can say that I met everyone. I meet with everyone. I met with Egyptian officials and with Qatar officials. The idea that I get is that they are really understanding that in order to bring the Middle East to stability again, and in order to start the healing process that the Middle East needs so much, um, all of us. The key is with bringing the hostages. Nothing else can do it because it's all started with taking them.
So why
And
can't they just tell Qatar and Why can't Egypt and Qatar tell Hamas that the game's over and you're not getting anything until the hostages are out? Or at least, what do they tell you? Why can't they do
Yeah, I
that?
know. It's a question that for me it's very hard to answer because I don't understand myself. Even when I spoke with them, I couldn't understand exactly. Well, most of them they say that they do everything they can to put the pressure on Hamas in the terms of what they can work with. I can't say I believe it completely, and I would say something else. I think that none of them has the power to really make Hamas do anything themselves. That's why I said before, and I will say it again. I really believe that the only person who can put the right pressure on everyone that's dealing in this negotiation is President Trump. I think that President Trump has the power to get my government and Hamas to get to a deal that in the end will be benefits for everyone. And yet, I'm not at the room when the negotiating. There's no really someone who keeping us updated and telling us everything that's going on, and we kind of get what we know from the media. Even when we go to meetings, most of them, I don't I don't come back with answers. I wish I had.
More questions than answers, probably.
Exactly.
When you see Bezalel Smotrich, and I want to quote from you today, he said, "No retreat from the territories we have conquered, not even in exchange for hostages. The only way to release the hostages is to subdue Hamas. Any retreat will bring about the next October 7th. I imagine that as an Israeli, you clearly want to eliminate Hamas. Of course, you also want the hostages to come home, especially the ones that are alive, particularly your brother. Do you think that this is posturing from Bezalel Smotrich, or do you think he's serious when he says that there are people in the government that don't want to stop?"
Smotrich and Ben Gvir and a lot of people in our government, um, they speak a lot. They like speaking. They like to come out with such big words. But in the end, they are not the one who will get the decisions. As you could see on the last hostage deal, the 33 hostages that returned. In the end, he was against this deal, and in the end, this deal was signed even without him. So I don't really care too much about what he had to say. Um, it could be just for the people who votes for him, and it could be just I don't know. I really don't know. And
To make people feel,
I tell you something else.
yeah,
I don't care. I really don't, because if I would listen to what everyone has to say, what's everyone's opinions, then I would really I would lose it. But in the end, I'm looking about what happens. I'm looking about the result. And right now, with everything, and I know for sure that my government and my military has the strength to not just keep going, but to do a lot more in Gaza. And yet, I still believe that Trump coming to the Middle East right now, and he will try to promote a deal that will not just end this war, but return all the hostages and give a better future to the Middle East. And that's something that I have to believe in. And there's still time to make this deal before we start increasing the forces and everything that we're doing inside Gaza. So I really hope that in the end, everyone showing their strength to get to a better deal. But I don't know. If there's something I'm afraid, and it's the most terrifying thing for me, is to think that the deal will not be signed, and we will not see all the hostages return, and we will just keep fighting, and we will lose more soldiers, and we will lose more lives in an endless war. And that's something that scares me, and it scares all of us. As I said before, we and all the Middle East, we need to start this healing process. It's been very hard. Um, and I think that the right thing to do it is not just sign or on a ceasefire and return the hostages and let things be how they were. We want to really give a better future, not just for us, but for my kids and for the people that live there. How you do it? You need the world to intervene. You need the world to understand that terror organization can never control on innocent civilians and teach them how to hate and to wait for their death since they were born. No, you need to bring them real leaders that will take that will promote not just peace, but to give them the future that they deserve. And it's something that we need the whole world for it, but mainly we need the United States for it. And I have, as I still, as I said before, I'm not hopeless. I still have hopes that in the end, um, our leaders, and I'm not just speaking about my government or your government. I'm speaking about the leaders in this world. Will choose the path of peace, the path of love, and not the path of war and the path of hate, because it's in the Middle East right now, but in the end it will spread.
So before we conclude here, if you have one message for President Trump and his envoy, Steve Witkoff, what is it?
So for President Trump, I would say, I'm not just counting on you. I really believe in you. I believed in you in the first moment that you were elected, and I knew that you're going to do great things. And I know that you have the strength and the power to bring back the hostages and to end this war in the Middle East. You want to be the president of peace, and I know you'll do whatever it takes. And I want to thank you for everything you did and for everything you're doing. For Witkoff, I would say the same. I want to thank him for everything he's doing at the negotiation and to bring the hostages back and to stop this war. And I would tell them, do not stop, do not rest, please. My brother, he's still alive. My baby brother is still alive, and he's waiting for us to save him. He need to return home.
Gal, I really appreciate you taking the time. God willing, Guy will be back very, very soon. And once you have time to embrace and hang out, I'm going to call you because I want to talk to both of you guys in a happy place. It'll be good.
Of course, I can't wait to speak with you again with him by my side,
Please, God, very, very soon. Thank you. And I'm going to drop in the show notes the Instagram page and other ways that people can continue to speak out, speak up, and draw attention to this humanitarian crisis so that, God willing, there's a resolution very soon. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you.
Speak with you. Bye.